Okay, so how have you pivoted in the recent years?
I post COVID and post all of this, it's been a great time to kind of reflect. I'm in my early 30s now. I'm not 23 like when I moved here. And I think it's kind of, I like to call it, I'm climbing my second mountain. A
Mm,
lot of people in business or in life will have these mountains that they climb at new points. And my mountain is going to be a little bit different than just being a model. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of this is going to be one of the hardest mountains I have to climb. But I want to work in storytelling. I definitely want to continue working in film. I've discovered that I love to write and I'm a great writer. So
mm.
I'll be in publishing in some ways. And I even want to learn tangible skills. Like I want to learn how to build a fucking house. Because if I'm going to have a bunch of wealth, I want to know how to make that wealth keep working for me in other ways. So I have a lot of, my little brain is kind of spread out and it's very uncomfortable and I sound delusional when I tell people what I want to do right now. But that's where I'm at. I'm looking at more traditional goals for myself and
Mm.
utilizing what I've already built to kind of get there.
Right. No, I think that sounds smart. Talk to me a little bit more. I love when you said storytelling.
Mhm.
Do you want to be writing your own story? Do you want to write for other people's story? What do you mean by that?
It's a little bit of a mix. So I'm kind of trying to follow this inner gut feeling dream thing that I have. And I've been doing a lot of soul searching. It sounds very cheesy, but I've been praying and meditating and kind of doing all the things when you need a sign from the universe. And
Mm.
I realized that storytelling is where I need to land. I do want to tell my story, and I'm not sure exactly the facet. So what I've decided is I brought my podcast back, Eyes Up Here. So I'm kind of dabbling in the podcast. I've
Mm.
finished my first book proposal, and I've started working on that. I
Mhm.
don't know if, and I don't know when I'm going to press go on that, but it's finished and it's a wonderful proposal. And
Mhm.
then I'm actually coming back to I have a TV show that we're pitching, and then the fourth is I'm bringing back YouTube like vlogs. I never really chose to do that ever, but I've hired a full-time film team and we've been working on it the last month. So I really put the pedal to the metal this past March. I decided to get back on this entertainment train where I'm going to storytell through these different avenues. It's kind of complicated, it's kind of all over the place, but I think that I'm doing the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because you have so many followers, I think it makes sense to kind of do a number of different things because you can hit different people in different ways.
Yeah, and it's so
Um,
much fun.
yeah. So tell me about your podcast. It's called Eyes Up Here. Yeah.
Yes, eyes of fear.
So how often does that drop? What do you talk about?
Oh my gosh. Well, I started in 2018. And I was just obsessed with the idea that people were misunderstood. It's a lot like your podcast. I was obsessed with the idea that you could see someone and think all these stereotypes because we've all got this box that people fit us in. And
Mm.
we're never like that box. Always way more complicated and nuanced if we're remotely interesting. And
Mm.
I like the idea of uncovering people and kind of seeing them outside of the box. So that's kind of where I started. And over time, it just kind of developed. And right now, it's a little bit personal. It's kind of what I'm going through, how I'm feeling. Sometimes I lean a little bit insightful. The last episode was about intuition. So
Mm.
I'm kind of all over the place. I'm still getting my footing back with it, honestly, because
Yeah.
there was like pre-COVID life and then there's kind of now. And it's taken me quite a while to get back into this train, but now I'm on the train.
So how often does it drop?
It should be every week, but I reserve the right to screw up and not post every week. But
Sure,
there's
of
one out
course.
this week, and yeah.
And so sometimes it's guest driven and sometimes you're just speaking from your heart.
Yes, that's
Okay,
pretty much where
amazing. I love
I'm
that. I want to hear about your OnlyFans.
at. Okay.
So I've had a couple girls on my show that are on OnlyFans that, do it for financial freedom. They love
Yeah.
it. Literally everyone I've spoken to about it loves it. So I'm curious about because you have such a big brand. Do you think that OnlyFans is something that has created part of that brand? Or do you think because you've had all these eyeballs over here, you were able to translate them into your OnlyFans community?
Oh yeah, mine was the opposite. I had the community already, and that translated to OnlyFans.
Okay.
It was kind of a no-brainer too because all those years I had done bikini modeling and posted in the swimwear, and we got a lot of pushback. Sometimes it was like, you can't model for this brand because you're too risque on the internet. Everything's risque when you look a certain way,
Mhm.
which is a whole other conversation. And so I was like, a lot of the platforms were like, if you wear a certain this, you won't be monetized in this way or on this place. And so OnlyFans was actually kind of one of the first places where it was like, there you can just be yourself, and we're gonna support you as a creator, and we see the value in
Mm.
your entertainment and your audience. So I appreciated that a lot.
Hmm. And so
Mhm.
do you feel like for right now, is that your main source of income?
For sure, I think. Yeah, yeah. I'd say. I mean, unless there's a good day. I have a lot of buckets turning. But
Okay.
yeah, I used to rely fully on influencer marketing money, and now I have this, which means I get to turn down, worser jobs for that kind of influencer marketing. I don't have to focus on that as much, which is really nice.
Okay. And so for anyone interested in getting into OnlyFans, and tell me if I'm wrong, I've learned that you really do need to start with a community. I mean, it's very hard to start without those eyeballs, correct?
I think so, from what
Okay.
I've heard.
Right.
From what I've
Uh,
heard, but there also are now there are like experts in this field who can kind of see someone and turn it into something impressive. I don't know how they're doing it, but I have heard that there are ways.
Okay. And then for you, explain just a little bit of the basics. Is this something like Insta? I've never actually been on OnlyFans. So is it something where you are posting every day or your team is posting every day or you have to be consistent? Like what are the tips for that?
Oh my God, it is a ton of work. It's nonstop. You can post as much or as little as you want, but it's imagine having a job that you kind of have to be interesting nonstop and you have to be creative nonstop. That's
Mhm.
kind of what this thing is. And so it's very stressful. You have to work you're working all the time if you're
Yeah.
doing it. So I'm posting all the time, but what is wonderful about it is you can schedule things ahead of time. So
Right.
that feature is kind of amazing. You can post on a public wall and you have DMs. And you can also live stream, which I really love to do. So people can literally just see you live stream as long as you want. You can charge a fee for that. It's like putting on your own show in your house whenever
So
you
like
want.
what are you doing during your live stream? Are you like stripping
I
or are you cleaning?
Well, I dance around. I'm very sexy. It's almost as if like because I'm in the glamour model space, so very like lingerie, swimwear stuff.
Okay.
So anything you would imagine from like a sexy photo shoot, that's kind of what I'm doing live. I'm changing outfits. Sometimes I don't want to give all my tricks away because people will
Right.
steal them from me.
Right.
But no, I try on a lot of outfits throughout, and I'm talking shit. I'm telling jokes. I'm giggling, and yeah, I'll dance around. But I'm not a very good stripper. It's not really. I'm not a great stripper.
Okay.
Not
Not
good.
that there's anything wrong with it.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I've totally attempted to twerk on there many times. Like I have fun. It's not I don't know how to explain it. It's not yeah, I don't know. It's to me it's a sexy photo shoot come to life. It's very
Right.
much hanging out with a girl next door while she dresses like a hot cheerleader. It's just fun.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. And then do you feel like you need to, I've heard two ways that you need to kind of hire a crew and help you do all this, or are you the girl that like sets up your own lighting, puts on your phone or your computer and you like can do it all by yourself?
I'm definitely a self starter, self motivator, self starter.
Okay.
Especially even when I first started, I wouldn't work with anyone. So I like to be and I like to be alone because a lot of it's sexy. So if you want to be creative, I don't
Yeah.
like to be sexy around people, so I think it's kind of weird. So I'm
Mhm.
more of the alone. I mean, I'm staring at the setup that I've got now, and maybe that's my like stubbornness, and maybe I should have a little bit more help with that. But I'm kind of a stubborn
No, I
queen.
hear you.